Good morning, YouTube. It's Monday, Labor Day, and I've just rolled out of bed because my stomach woke me up because it was growling because it's hungry. And so I'm coming into the kitchen, about to make me some breakfast, some egg whites, oatmeal, and some coffee. The huge. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Making some coffee behind there in the Keurig. I've been drinking this as the coffee creamer. It's the almond milk creamer by Califia Farms. It's like an almond milk version of coffee creamer, but it's pretty good. It kind of has a little bit of like more of a milder nutty flavor than like a sweeter coffee creamer. So if you like almond milk and you like coffee creamer together, this is pretty good. I did pick up some of this the other day. This cinnamon vanilla cream flavor by Coffee Mate. I wanted to try it because I like vanilla coffee creamer and I like cinnamon. And I tried it yesterday in my cold coffee and I couldn't get out of my mind that it tasted just like Fireball liquor. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, Fireball is a cinnamon flavored type liquor. And especially drinking it cold yesterday, I could not get the thought out of my head that I was drinking Fireball as my coffee. So I don't think I'm a fan of it because it actually has a pretty strong cinnamon flavor. I thought it was going to be more of a vanilla flavor, but it's definitely more cinnamon tasting, and I just can't get the thought of Fireball out of my head. So I am not a fan of this. And unfortunately, they didn't have a smaller container of this, so I don't know what I'm going to do with all this. The maple brown sugar oat fit oatmeal, 1 packet of that. I've got 4 egg whites and 1 whole egg in here. And then I've got my Fireball coffee. And while I eat all this, I'm gonna watch a little bit of YouTube. Okay, so I've decided this is not that terrible in hot coffee, the cinnamon vanilla cream, but it tastes more like a Starbucks holiday drink when you drink it with hot coffee instead of an alcoholic beverage. If you're wondering if I have any Labor Day plans today, I do not. Cody's actually working at the fire department. We usually go to the lake for the whole weekend, but Saturday was our first home football game here in Auburn. And so we actually went to that, did all the game day stuff on Saturday, tailgated and whatnot, what we usually do. And then Sunday we spent recovering, so we actually didn't go to the lake. And then Cody had to work today, so we didn't go to the lake again. So I don't have any plans. Although I am not completely, hating the idea of just sitting here or not really having any plans and just taking a day to myself and just relaxing. Just like right now, I'm catching up on a bunch of YouTube videos because I don't get to do that very often. Just kind of taking a day to myself, and I don't know what I'm going to get into, but that's going to be my Labor Day. No labor. I forgot my shake. Made a protein shake and I left it on the bar up there. Just drinking 1 scoop of this Cellucor whey protein in the chocolate flavor because I love chocolate, and I added 1 tablespoon of the PB2 Fit powder, half water, half vanilla, unsweetened almond milk. That's what I'm drinking as my 10:30 morning AM snack. So I finally got myself off the couch because I was been watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and if I didn't stop, I was probably gonna be there like all day or at least half my day. So I finally got out of my pajamas, which consists of just a t-shirt and shorts. And then finally put on some gym clothes because I'm gonna go to the gym later on. I got my Under Armour sports bra on, some black leggings, and a black shirt. Everything that you should not wear in a house where a dog sheds all the time, because I come out of here looking like I'm covered in Slater hair, because that's what happens. I don't have a lint roller, so I just rock it at the gym. Anywho, I just wanted to say how I am very thankful to be off for Labor Day weekend. I know some people have to work. If I was working as an actual paid pharmacist, I would probably be working today in Walgreens. However, I would like to say I'm very thankful to have a job with Walgreens as a pharmacist. And so that's what brings me to this topic, which is actually one of the very common questions that I get a lot, is how I got my job as a pharmacist at Walgreens. So as some of you may know from some of my videos, Walgreens wasn't actually my first choice as a pharmacist job. You can see Slater back there. So Walgreens was actually not my first choice of taking a pharmacist job there. As some of you already know, I have always worked for an independent pharmacy. As long as I've been in pharmacy, that's what I've done. I worked for a pharmacy called Adams Drugs back home. And I absolutely loved working with that pharmacy. It was everything that I just kind of thought of that I would love in pharmacy, and at least when it comes to retail setting. I just really love independent pharmacy. And going through pharmacy school, that was kind of my plan, was to either work for Adams Drugs themselves, because that's the company I know and I love and they're like family to me, or work for another independent pharmacy. With that being said though, working for an independent pharmacy is really, really hard to get a job with. Basically, you have to know somebody really well. They have to really like you in order to get a job at an independent pharmacy. It's not like going to a chain pharmacy where you can just put in an application, they review it, and maybe, you know, have an interview with you and decide they want you to come on as part of their job, or with their company. But with independent pharmacy, it's a lot with who you know and how well they know you and if they like you. Well, my plan was I would really love to work for my pharmacy. Even though they are an hour away from Auburn, I was willing to commute because I wanted to live here in Auburn, but if it came down to commuting, it would be so worth it to commute to Adams Drugs, going to work a job every day that I actually really love going to. And when it came closer to, you know, really finalizing what do you want to do when you get out, when you graduate and everything, I'd already kind of previously been talking to my pharmacy like, hey, look, you know, I really love to work with y'all when I do graduate and become a licensed pharmacist. If y'all have a position for me, I would love to, you know, to come onto the company as a pharmacist. And obviously it's not something that I was expecting them to have a position for me open with just open arms and be like, hey, we have a spot for you as a pharmacist, come on in, you know. It doesn't work like that, because it's not like I'm just a paid, you know, pharmacy technician. I would be either a salaried paid pharmacist or an hourly paid pharmacist, which is a huge, you know, budget in the payroll. So it's not like they can just create a position for a $100,000, you know, paying employee, right? Just to give an idea of how that works. But I wasn't expecting them to have just a position waiting for me. I knew that it was going to be all about timing. And if, you know, either someone was leaving the company, which no one leaves independent pharmacy, especially Adams Drugs, because everybody loves that job. I mean, you just can't beat the hours, the benefits, the paid holidays, just everything that comes with it. Just working with great employees and great people in general and the customers, you just can't beat that job as a retail pharmacist. So no one's going to be leaving anytime soon. But basically someone would have to retire, which there's not too many people who are retiring anytime soon, or they'd have to open up another store, which they are being very successful with opening up multiple stores in the Montgomery and Tri-County area in Alabama. Which I wish they would open one in Auburn. I keep pushing for them, like, please open one in Auburn and let me be the managing pharmacist there. But anyways, they did not have a position open for me, which I, you know, kind of expected. And I don't hold it against them, obviously. Just because I worked for them for 6 years, I don't expect them to just create a pharmacist position out of the open if they don't, you know, if they don't have the area or the funds or the spot for it, you know. So obviously I had to look into applying into other pharmacies around the area, and I knew I wanted to be in the Auburn area. I didn't want to move, so I was trying to think of companies that I could apply to around here. There are a couple of independents around here, but like I said, you really have to have some really great connections and know people in order to get on with an independent pharmacy job. So Auburn University, our pharmacy school, actually had a career day that they did where they have like it's just a whole day where a bunch of pharmacy companies come in. So it's mainly your chain pharmacies. So it's like CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aids. You have some of your bigger grocery store chains like Kroger, Winn-Dixie. I think Walmart came. You also had Target. Different, you know, pharmacy companies that come into one day, and you basically sign up for a spot, the ones that you're interested in going to, and you have like an interview with them. You give them your resume, and you basically have like a small interview with each company that you're interested in applying to. And so on career day, out of the companies that were there, I only applied to Walgreens, Publix, Target, and Kroger. Those are the only ones that I was kind of interested in, that I thought I may be happy when it comes to working for a chain pharmacy. Even though I really wanted to work independent, but I just thought I would put my resume out there, interview with these companies, and just see, you know, what they would offer me. Because I obviously have to have a job when I graduated pharmacy school, because I knew I wasn't going to have one at least right away with my pharmacy. So I had to explore my other options. I did the career day there, and then a couple of months went by, or let's see, I think actually it was only a couple of weeks that I got my first job offer with Walgreens. And I also got one with Kroger, but that was out of Huntsville, the one that they offered me, and I was not willing to move to Huntsville, Alabama, which is like 3 hours away from here, because I wanted to stay in Auburn. So Walgreens actually contacted me, and they offered, me a job with them as a full-time pharmacist if I would be interested. And basically they gave me 2 days to make the decision if, hey, really want you to work for this district. So working for the certain district that they hired me for would allow me to stay in Auburn, whether that is actually working in Auburn or kind of commuting into the different areas around Auburn, or which, Auburn is on the borderline of Georgia, so I would be working a lot of Georgia Walgreens too if they needed me there, which is why I'm working on getting my Georgia license as well. But I actually had only 2 days to make the decision if I really want to take this job offer with Walgreens. And at first I was kind of like, this was really hoping to be my plan B option, because I had actually applied to some of the other independent pharmacies around Auburn and some other places just in the Auburn area, but I never heard anything back, which was kind of in a way kind of expected, because like I said, it's really hard to get in with these close, small family-owned independents around here, just these smaller companies. So I took some advice from a friend who graduated pharmacy school a year ahead of me, and she was kind of in the same boat as me, and she was like, you know what, just take the offer. Just take it, take the position. If something, because they offered it to me really early in November. They actually gave me a job offer in November before graduating in May. And so, she basically just told me, just go ahead and take the offer. If something comes up later that you think that you would absolutely would love or be interested in or rather take than having a pharmacist position at Walgreens, then just be willing to burn that bridge with Walgreens if that decision does come. So I ended up taking the job, just to have job security, just knowing for sure that I have a pharmacy job when I graduate. And I still kept my eyes open for other things that may have popped up along the way before I graduated. If something, whether another independent pharmacy job came around or anything like that, because initially Walgreens or working for a chain pharmacy was supposed to be my plan B option if plan A did not go according to plan, which it obviously did not. So I was very thankful that I was offered a job right out of pharmacy school, or even before graduating pharmacy school. So I went ahead and took the position. I committed to Walgreens, and that was the plan, after I graduated, was to start working for Walgreens after graduation, and then obviously continue to get my license to become licensed in Alabama and eventually become licensed in Georgia. And I was hired on as a full-time pharmacist, not a staff pharmacist. So a staff pharmacist means that I'm full-time in one single store, but I was hired on as a full-time floating pharmacist. So that means I float, obviously, through different stores of Walgreens. But that's how I got the job at Walgreens. Again, it wasn't my initial choice in where I wanted to work as a pharmacist, but I'm very thankful that I have a job, period. And obviously I need to get some sort of job to get my feet wet, just get some experience out there as a pharmacist on my own. And I mean, I know I'm still trying, to get into the routine, get used to the whole big chain retail pharmacy, because I'm so used to how independent pharmacy runs, and I'm just used to everything independent. So I'm still learning. I feel like I almost had to relearn how pharmacy works, because working in a big chain pharmacy company like Walgreens versus an independent pharmacy is just so different. Just the way they do everything, their policies or regulations, just everything, just how they handle different things is just not what I'm used to. So I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get used to that. I'm still trying to give it like 100% positivity from my side, because honestly, going into it, I wasn't fully positive, or didn't have a positive attitude about working for a chain pharmacy, because coming from an independent pharmacy and then going to a chain pharmacy is almost like taking a step backwards. Usually people leave big chain pharmacies and go to independent, because you just can't be independent when it comes to retail pharmacy. But I mean, everyone's different, obviously. Obviously, depending on the pharmacist, they have a place in either one of the settings. Whether you may be an independent pharmacist or you may be a retail chain pharmacist. So it just depends. And I just think I'm an independent pharmacy person, but I'm still trying to give, Walgreens 100% benefit of the doubt. Still trying to give it my go, my all. And we'll just see what happens. So this is my job. I'm trying to learn as much as I can and just really get, you know, comfortable with being a pharmacist at Walgreens. So that is how I got to my job, and that is where I'm at right now. I also forgot to mention, since I am not completely a licensed pharmacist in the state of Alabama with Walgreens, I'm only getting paid half of what I would truly be making at Walgreens as a pharmacist. So I'm only getting half my pay right now. So I'm still clock in, you know, every day. I'm still a paid hourly employee of Walgreens, but I'm not a full-time salaried pharmacist just yet because I'm still waiting to get licensed in Alabama. Just pulled up to the gym, and it is seriously so nice out here. Like, I'm really sad that I'm not at a pool or the lake right now because it's so beautiful out here. It's so nice. I'm so lame because I'd rather come to the gym than go do anything fun outdoorsies for Labor Day. But I'm coming in here. I have legs and shoulders. Probably not going to film the workout for y'all because it's a really long workout, and if I include that workout in this video, it'll be super long. But let me know if y'all really enjoy me recording all my workouts. I know most of y'all do, but just let me know what types of workouts y'all would like to see from me. And I feel like on the days I usually can film, it's usually a lower body workout anyways. So just let me know which workouts y'all would like to see in the future. And yeah, so I'm about to go in there and kill this workout. So I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Alright, so I just got back to the gym, and on our doorstep was this package from Amazon, which I knew Cody had ordered Slater a new dog toy, because the dog toys we usually like to get are like the, what are they called? They're like the rough, tough, or toughy toys that we like to get because they're supposed to be just really durable. They're not easy to tear up. We usually get them at Tractor Supply, but they didn't have a really good supply of it. So Cody ordered one off of Amazon for Slater, and this is what it is. It is this giant pig. Like, this thing is huge. Look how big this is compared to my head. I thought it was a smaller toy than what it is. Slater, look what I got for you, buddy. Slater, here's your pig. It's as big as you are. I don't know if you're going to be able to play with it. You might be scared of it. This is yours. That is so big. Alright, real quick, I want to talk about another question that I've actually gotten a lot that I just haven't really answered, I don't think, in any of my videos recently. So the question is, or was, am I going to compete this year? And I'm kind of redirecting that question to why I decided not to compete, because for Alabama, it's at the end of the year basically for NPC competitions. So I just want to kind of touch on why I decided not to compete this year. I initially wanted to do, this past year, I wanted to do the first big NPC competition of the year, which is the Vulcan Classic, which, if y'all have been following my YouTube channel, that is the show I actually won last year. I won the overall bikini champion of that show. That's one of the bigger shows of Alabama. It's the first show of the year, and it's just one of the bigger shows that they do. I really want to do that one again, but I heard that you're not allowed to do a show if you win one. Like, you can't do it consecutively, you know, back to back. And even if they did, I was kind of like hesitant to even do that show anyways, because I didn't want to be like that douchebag, you know, that, oh, she won it last year, like, what is she doing here again? You know, I just didn't want that kind of criticism, I guess. So I decided that I wasn't going to be doing that show. And then I really wanted to do another big show that's kind of like more in the middle of the summer, which was the NPC like Clash Stone or something like that. I don't know. It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And so I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe I can start prepping for that show. And I knew I wanted to give myself at least 12 weeks to prep. I like to give myself more about 16 weeks because I like to take it really slow and steady instead of, you know, just putting all that stress on my body, just losing so much weight and a lot of training and stuff. And I just didn't want to do that. So I wasn't really sure, though, how this summer was going to be, since I was graduating pharmacy school in May and then starting my job at Walgreens immediately, basically after graduating. And so I really didn't know where I was going to be at with working with Walgreens, because I knew I was going to be floating around at different stores. And I was also studying, you know, for my big clinical boards exam and my law exam. And I wasn't sure how much work that was going to take out of me, aside from working full-time as well. And obviously I knew that I wanted to put my pharmacy career number one That was supposed to be my number one priority this summer because I was starting my job. I was supposed to be getting licensed pretty soon. And I just need to put most of my eggs in that basket to focus on instead of focusing on, a hobby of mine, because competing is not my career. It's not going to be what pays my bills. You don't even get paid for these competitions unless you're like a pro bikini person, which I don't think I really have any desire to become pro anyways. So this is just a really expensive side hobby of mine. But anyways, I was nervous because I love to put 100% or more into whatever I do have a goal of. And so I didn't want to take away what little time I did have aside from working to study for my clinical boards and my law exam, and just getting used to starting my career of pharmacy. I just wasn't sure, how I'd be able to handle that being in a contest prep. It's different between just living my lifestyle of fitness and living healthy and everything. There's a big difference between being in a contest prep and this being a lifestyle, everyday thing for you. So I just didn't think I would be able to be 100% committed to it like I normally would be. So I decided not to do one of the earlier shows this summer. And then I thought, okay, well, once I took my exams, kind of got that out of the way, I wasn't doing as much studying anymore, but I was still working full time, still traveling a good bit with Walgreens. Maybe I can do one of the later shows. I thought about doing the Alabama State Championship show again. I did that one last year too, and I thought about doing that and maybe going for the state title again this year, because I won first place in my class, but I didn't win overall. One of my good friends actually won the overall bikini champion of the Alabama State Championships. But and when it came down to it, I think when I finally decided that I thought I could have some commitment to it, I really only had about 10 weeks to prep for it. And that kind of made me really nervous because, I didn't want to put so much stress on my body. And that's kind of a really fast prep, at least for me it is. That means I would have to extremely cut down on my calories, my macros daily. I'd have to basically start doing fasted cardio every single morning. And for my schedule at the time, there's no way I could do that because I was having to get up at 4 a.m. already to get up to get ready to go to work, because I was at that time I was working in Georgia. So they're, an hour ahead of us, and it's an hour drive. So that means 2 hours earlier than I would normally have to get up. And so it was just a lot of extra stuff going on with me. And so I thought, again, like I didn't think I could put in 100% or more commitment to being into a prep again. And then I thought about too, okay, so I was done with studying for my boards and other exams, and basically I had been doing that all summer. All I had been doing all summer was working and studying, not really a whole lot of time for friends and family. And so I didn't want to jump into a prep and give what little time I did have aside from work to contest prep and, sacrifice that time with friends and family. I didn't want to do that to them. And so I just didn't think I was ready to do that because it does take a toll on your social life a lot. And I didn't want to miss out on what little bit of summer that I did have left. And I don't want to say waste it on the contest prep, because contest prep wouldn't have been a waste for me, but I just really wanted to utilize those few, weekends that I did have left this summer to spend it with friends and family and not spend it being so consumed in being in a contest prep. Another reason is just finances. Contest prep is super, super expensive. Number one for me though, I would have to get a whole brand new competition suit, because obviously the top would still fit me because I have like no girls up here at all, but the bottoms would not have fit me. They really didn't even fit me that well for my last show I did last year, because I had gotten such good booty gains, and in a good way, not just fat, but so my butt shape has basically just changed. It's gotten more fuller and more muscular, and so I would have to get a whole new competition suit for any competitions that I have in the future. So that's a huge chunk of money that I did not have I didn't have the money to do that. And just all the strict foods and supplements that I would be taking, and then paying for the shows themselves, paying for your tan, the hotels, just everything in general that comes with competition expenses. I personally just didn't have the funds for it. Financially, I was not stable at all. To be honest, I have been struggling this entire summer trying to make ends meet, just because that's just, you know, sometimes that's just real life. And I just honestly didn't have the funds to compete this year. But with that being said, I do plan on competing next year. That is a goal of mine. So I really wanted to be stable financially, first of all, and then also just stable in my pharmacy career overall. I really wanted to get more of like a concrete schedule and routine. And so that way I can better plan ahead, better organize, you know, what competition I want to do. And once I do start that prep, I'll have a little bit better of an idea of how I can organize, you know, my training, eating my meals, because in the pharmacy world, you're not always promised a lunch time. You're not always promised breaks in retail pharmacy, at least. So it would be really hard and challenging for me to consume all the calories that I need in a day in order to fuel my body for a contest prep and my hard training. So that is my goal, though, is to compete on stage again next year. And I really, really, really would love to do a national show. But that is a goal of mine. And so we will see how next year comes about. But for now, all the shows basically for out. There's one more. There's a brand new show in Alabama that is starting up. It's actually next weekend. Not competing in that one. Although I really wanted to do that one because I think it would be so fun to compete in the brand new show and be one of the first competitors of a brand new show. But anyways, that's really it for Alabama. There's no more competitions for this year. And we'll just see how next year goes. So that's why I decided not to compete. Hope that answers everyone's questions. Of course, it was a big ramble, as always. Come outside to watch Slater chase some squirrels and rabbits. You can see him. Where'd he go? There he is. There he is. Oh, how did he do that? Oh, that's weird. My nail looks really gross right there. You can see our fire truck. Anyways, this is going to conclude this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I answered some questions that a lot of people have been asking of me. And I'm not sure what next video I will film. I do have a couple of things written down for you guys. And I will hopefully get around to editing this video tonight, since I don't have anything else to do for the rest of the afternoon, because I'm, like I mentioned, I'm pretty lame and I had no Labor Day plans. And so I'm just going to hang out with this guy as he pisses on all the bushes. You feel better? Alright, anyway, so I'll catch y'all in the next one. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to see more of my content coming in the future. Y'all have a great Labor Day and a great rest of the week, and I'll catch y'all next time. Goodbye.